How should one respond when a woman ignores you? It's easy to let emotions take over, feeling confused or frustrated. But what if there's a different way to handle this situation? Stoicism, a philosophy that emphasizes emotional control and inner peace, offers an alternative path to dealing with such challenges. Instead of reacting impulsively, Stoicism encourages us to remain calm and measured, focusing on what we can control, our own actions and thoughts. But how does behaving stoically in the face of emotional coldness or rejection actually work? Stoicism teaches that external events, including how others treat us, are beyond our control. Instead of being consumed by these things, Stoic philosophy asks us to turn inward and evaluate our own responses. By practicing emotional resilience, we avoid being swayed by the actions or inactions of others. In this sense, being ignored isn't a cause for panic, but rather an opportunity for growth. This approach may seem counterintuitive to those who are used to reacting emotionally, but could it be the key to maintaining your dignity and inner calm? The wisdom of Stoic philosophers like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius highlights the power of self-restraint. By remaining composed and unaffected by someone's indifference, you strengthen your own character. The question then arises, does practicing this Stoic behavior make you more resilient in relationships, or does it signal a healthy form of detachment? Through Stoic psychology, one learns that self-worth doesn't come from the attention of others, but from mastering your own mind. In navigating the complexities of human relationships, especially when ignored, Stoicism provides a framework for maintaining balance and clarity. Before we start, please subscribe to the channel, and if you like this video, like it and write your opinion through comments. After this introduction, we go to the main topic and examine 8 Stoic behaviors in this matter. 8 Stoic behavior for when a woman ignores you. Number 1. Limit expectations. One of the most powerful Stoic behaviors you can adopt when a woman ignores you is to limit your expectations. In Stoic philosophy, expectations are often seen as a source of unnecessary suffering because they place our happiness and well-being in the hands of things outside our control. When we expect a specific response or behavior from someone, especially in matters of the heart, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Have you ever found yourself feeling let down because your expectations weren't met? By managing your expectations, you free yourself from emotional distress and create a sense of peace within. Psychologically, limiting expectations can help prevent emotional overreactions and frustration. If someone is ignoring you, it's easy to spiral into negative thoughts, wondering why they aren't responding or giving you attention. However, by accepting that you cannot control their actions or reactions, you gain control over your emotional state. The Stoics believe that peace of mind comes from focusing only on what is within our power. When you limit your expectations, you regain emotional clarity and become more resilient to the actions of others. In relationships, particularly when faced with someone's indifference or silence, limiting expectations can change the dynamic for the better. Instead of feeling anxious or insecure about why she isn't responding, focus on how you can maintain your own sense of balance. Imagine expecting nothing in return and being pleasantly surprised when positive things happen, rather than being continually disappointed. This Stoic mindset helps you avoid emotional pitfalls, making you appear more grounded and self-assured. Ultimately, limiting expectations doesn't mean lowering your standards or not caring. It simply means you detach your emotional well-being from outcomes you can't control. This approach not only protects your peace but also makes you more attractive because it shows that you are emotionally independent. By embracing this Stoic principle, you cultivate an inner strength that radiates outward and positively impacts your relationships. Number 2. Cultivate patience. Cultivating patience is another essential Stoic behavior to adopt when a woman ignores you. Stoicism teaches that patience is not passive endurance, but an active state of mind where we choose to respond with calmness and understanding rather than frustration. When someone ignores you, the immediate emotional response may be to feel hurt or anxious. However, the Stoic approach is to pause, reflect, and allow time to reveal the situation's true nature. Have you ever noticed that reacting impulsively in moments of uncertainty rarely leads to positive outcomes? From a psychological standpoint, patience is crucial for maintaining emotional balance and preventing rash decisions. When faced with someone's silence, it's easy to jump to conclusions or make assumptions about their feelings or intentions. However, by practicing patience, you give the situation space to unfold naturally. The Stoics believe that time often brings clarity, and that by remaining calm, you can make wiser decisions. Instead of forcing a response or demanding attention, practice waiting and observing with an open mind. In relationships, patience allows you to see things from a broader perspective. Maybe the person ignoring you is going through something personal, or perhaps they need time to reflect on their own feelings. By being patient, you respect their process while maintaining your own emotional stability. Imagine someone ignoring you, and instead of reacting with frustration, you calmly wait and focus on yourself. This patience not only demonstrates maturity but also makes you more attractive by showing that you don't rely on immediate validation. In the end, cultivating patience is about trusting the process and understanding that not everything needs an immediate resolution. By embracing this Stoic virtue, you protect your peace and create space for healthier, more balanced relationships. Practicing patience shows emotional strength and allows you to respond to situations with wisdom and grace, qualities that are invaluable in any relationship. Number 3. Maintain your dignity. Maintaining your dignity when a woman ignores you is perhaps one of the most important Stoic principles to follow. Stoicism emphasizes self-respect and emotional independence, meaning that our worth should never be dependent on the opinions or actions of others. When someone ignores you, it can be tempting to lower your standards or act in ways that undermine your self-respect. However, by maintaining your dignity, you send a powerful message that your value is not diminished by someone else's behavior. How often do we allow others' actions to dictate how we feel about ourselves? Psychologically, maintaining your dignity helps preserve your self-esteem. It prevents you from acting out of desperation or insecurity, which can often lead to regrettable actions. The Stoics believe that self-respect is a cornerstone of personal freedom. When you hold on to your dignity, you remain in control of your emotional state and avoid being swayed by external circumstances. Instead of chasing after someone's attention, focus on your own values and principles. In practical terms, maintaining dignity can mean stepping back when someone ignores you rather than trying to force a response. Imagine a situation where someone's silence is met with grace and quiet confidence instead of emotional outbursts or pleading. This calm response not only preserves your self-respect, but also makes you more appealing because it shows that you are not dependent on others for validation. Maintaining your dignity is about honoring yourself and refusing to let someone else's actions diminish your worth. In conclusion, maintaining your dignity in the face of being ignored is a powerful Stoic practice. It not only protects your emotional well-being, but also strengthens your sense of self-worth. By refusing to let external circumstances dictate your self-respect, you project confidence and stability, traits that are deeply attractive and show true inner strength. Number 4. Practice detachment. When a woman ignores you, practicing detachment is a key principle of Stoic philosophy that can help you maintain your inner peace and emotional balance. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring or become indifferent, but rather that you release your need for control over the situation or the other person's behavior. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and emotions, and to let go of the things we cannot control, such as how others treat us. Imagine a scenario where you've been texting someone, but they don't respond. Instead of obsessing over their lack of reply, practicing detachment allows you to focus on your own mindset, reducing anxiety and frustration. Do you often find yourself stressing over things you can't control? Psychologically, detachment helps protect your emotional well-being by reducing dependency on external validation. When you base your self-worth on how someone else responds to you, you give them power over your happiness. Practicing detachment, in a Stoic sense, means you find fulfillment and value in your own actions, not in the reactions of others. For example, if someone ignores you, instead of taking it personally or feeling rejected, you can remind yourself that their behavior is beyond your control and that your worth remains unchanged. Do you rely on others' approval too much for your self-esteem, or can you find peace within yourself? Detachment also fosters resilience. Stoicism encourages us to be emotionally strong and self-sufficient so that external events do not disturb our peace. When you practice detachment, you don't let someone else's actions define your emotional state. Whether a woman ignores you or not, you stay calm, composed, and focused on living in alignment with your principles. Think about how liberating it can be to remain unaffected by others' unpredictable behavior. This doesn't mean you shut down emotionally, but rather that you cultivate a healthy distance between your self-worth and others' reactions. In the end, practicing detachment is about finding balance and freedom in relationships. It's about caring for others while not becoming overly attached to their approval or affection. Ask yourself, are you able to detach from situations that you can't control, or do you find yourself trapped in emotional overthinking? By embracing the Stoic practice of detachment, you can handle being ignored with grace, and your inner peace will no longer depend on external factors. Number 5. Reflect on your actions. When faced with being ignored, reflecting on your actions is another powerful Stoic behavior to adopt. In Stoicism, self-reflection is crucial for personal growth and improvement. Before jumping to conclusions about why someone is ignoring you, it's important to take a step back and evaluate your own behavior. Have you done something that might have caused discomfort or distance? Reflecting on your actions allows you to understand your role in the situation without self-judgment or blame. It's about taking responsibility for what you can control. Can you think of a time when your actions may have contributed to someone pulling away? Psychologically, self-reflection can help you gain clarity and avoid unnecessary misunderstandings. Sometimes, when we feel ignored, our emotions cloud our judgment, and we might overlook behaviors or patterns that could have influenced the situation. For instance, if you've been overly needy or pushed boundaries in communication, a period of reflection could help you realize this. This doesn't mean that someone's silence is entirely your fault, but it gives you the opportunity to grow from the experience. In the process, you develop emotional intelligence and a deeper understanding of yourself. Stoicism teaches that we should always be open to learning from our experiences. When you reflect on your actions, you practice humility and embrace the idea that no one is perfect, including yourself. It's not about self-criticism, but about learning how you can improve your behavior in the future. This kind of reflection allows you to handle being ignored with a sense of calm instead of frustration. Imagine a scenario where instead of reacting with anger or confusion, you reflect and realize that giving the other person more space might have been the better approach. Doesn't this perspective feel more empowering? In conclusion, reflecting on your actions encourages personal growth and emotional resilience. It shifts your focus from blaming others to taking control of your own behavior. Ask yourself, do you regularly reflect on your actions, or do you tend to react impulsively? By making reflection a habit, you show emotional maturity, and you're better equipped to handle situations where someone ignores you, using the experience as a stepping stone for self-improvement. Number 6. Act rationally, not emotionally. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is the idea of acting rationally rather than emotionally, especially in challenging situations like when someone ignores you. Stoic philosophy emphasizes that our emotions, while natural, should not control our actions. When we react emotionally, we often make impulsive decisions that we later regret. For example, when a woman ignores you, it's easy to feel frustration, rejection, or anger, and these emotions can drive you to react in ways that might escalate the situation, like sending multiple messages or acting defensively. Instead, Stoicism encourages us to pause, assess the situation logically, and respond calmly. Have you ever acted impulsively and later wished you had taken more time to think? From a psychological perspective, when we act based on emotions, we activate the brain's fight or flight response, which can cloud our judgment. Acting rationally, on the other hand, engages the part of our brain responsible for critical thinking and problem solving. Stoicism teaches that by controlling our emotional responses, we can better handle situations like being ignored with grace and poise. For example, instead of reacting emotionally to silence, you can choose to respond rationally by giving the person space, focusing on other aspects of your life, or calmly addressing the situation later when emotions have cooled down. How often do you take a moment to breathe and think before reacting to difficult situations? Stoics believed in the importance of maintaining control over our internal state, regardless of external circumstances. This means not letting someone else's actions dictate your emotions or behavior. When you act rationally, you stay true to your principles, showing patience and wisdom instead of letting anger or insecurity take over. Picture yourself calmly assessing the situation, realizing that being ignored doesn't define your worth or require an immediate emotional response. This rational approach helps maintain your dignity and composure, which often leads to better outcomes in relationships. In summary, acting rationally instead of emotionally is a Stoic behavior that helps you navigate difficult situations with wisdom and self-control. Ask yourself, are you able to separate your emotions from your actions, or do you often let feelings drive your decisions? By embracing this Stoic principle, you can handle being ignored in a way that reflects strength and emotional maturity, allowing you to make decisions that align with your values rather than fleeting emotions. Number 7. Don't chase. One of the core teachings of Stoic philosophy is learning not to chase after things, particularly when those things are beyond your control. In the context of relationships, this means not chasing someone who is ignoring you. Stoicism emphasizes self-control, independence, and the understanding that we cannot control others' actions, only our own. When a woman ignores you, the Stoic approach would be to step back and avoid pursuing her out of fear, insecurity, or a desire for validation. Have you ever found yourself chasing someone only to feel worse afterward? Stoicism teaches that by letting go of the need to chase, we maintain our dignity and inner peace. Psychologically, the more you chase after someone, the more power you give them over your emotions and self-worth. Chasing often stems from a place of fear of rejection, loneliness, or inadequacy. But by not chasing, you are showing that you value yourself and won't allow someone else's attention or lack of it to define you. For example, instead of bombarding someone with messages or trying to force a conversation, Stoicism encourages you to focus on your own actions and let go of the outcome. This mindset can lead to healthier relationships, as you avoid becoming overly dependent on someone else's validation. Chasing also creates an imbalance in relationships, where one person is constantly seeking approval or attention from the other. The Stoics remind us that this need for approval is often a result of attachment to external things, something they advise us to avoid. When you stop chasing, you communicate that you are content with yourself and your life, regardless of whether or not someone gives you attention. This creates an air of confidence and independence, traits that are naturally more attractive and fulfilling in the long run. Can you think of a situation where chasing only created more stress or tension? In the end, not chasing is about reclaiming your power and recognizing that true self-worth comes from within. It is a quiet strength that Stoicism cultivates, the ability to walk away when needed and not allow the actions of others to dictate your happiness. Ask yourself, are you someone who chases after others, or can you stand confidently in your own value, even when someone pulls away. By practicing this Stoic principle, you will find that not chasing often leads to greater respect from others and a deeper sense of peace within yourself. Number 8. Learn from the situation. When a woman ignores you, instead of reacting with frustration or disappointment, Stoicism encourages you to see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Every situation, even difficult ones, holds valuable lessons if we approach it with the right mindset. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" a Stoic might ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in perspective turns a potentially negative experience into a tool for self-improvement. Have you ever faced a difficult situation, only to later realize it helped you grow as a person? From a psychological standpoint, viewing challenges as learning opportunities helps reduce stress and promotes resilience. When you frame being ignored as something that can teach you patience, emotional regulation, or even self-awareness, it transforms the experience into a stepping stone rather than a setback. For instance, if someone ignores you, instead of immediately blaming them or yourself, you can reflect on the situation calmly. Is there something you can improve in how you communicate? Or perhaps this experience teaches you to better manage your expectations in relationships. Stoicism teaches us that every situation, good or bad, is neutral. It's our thoughts and perceptions that give it meaning. Learning from a situation means taking responsibility for how you respond to it, rather than being a passive victim of circumstances. Imagine a time when you felt ignored or sidelined. How might things have been different if, instead of feeling hurt or chasing the person, you took a step back and asked yourself, "What can I learn here?" This mindset allows you to stay grounded and grow, even from uncomfortable experiences. Ultimately, learning from situations where you feel ignored leads to personal growth and emotional strength. Instead of letting your emotions run wild, you adopt a Stoic mindset, focusing on how the experience can make you a better, more balanced person. Ask yourself, are you quick to react emotionally when things don't go your way, or can you find the lesson in every challenge? By applying this Stoic approach, you transform potentially painful moments into opportunities for wisdom and self-development. I hope these Stoic teachings are useful and effective for you. My goal is to make your life better and more enjoyable. I will accompany you in this interesting and meaningful magazine.